All right, on this week's edition of Two Idiots, like I said in our previous video, if you guys saw that one, gardeners are across the street making all kinds of noise. We got things to do here today. So let's show you what I'm gonna try and do today. In the front of the 67, the grill, I don't know if you can see it, it's all messed up. It's all pushed in and broken right there. It's a lot of the paint is old and chipping. This car has been in a little bit of a front end. Oh yeah, I forgot I have a camera guy here.
Yeah, I was like, I can go home if you want.
All right, boy. The front end has been in a little bit of an impact here, so it pushed this part of the grill down. When I take this off, I'm probably have to tap that up. You can see it's actually pushed down right there. So the new grill may not fit, but I will do something with this. I've got some methods on how to do that. But we're gonna replace the grill. So I got no new headlights. I need to get new headlights. Maybe we'll try and find some later. This headlight housing is actually kind of hard to find. I can find plenty of the rectangle ones, but not the round ones. But this trim, the lower, the upper, the grill is all being replaced. And then what we're also gonna do is we're gonna replace the taillight housings. I ordered whole new housings because the taillights on this car are from an RS, which is incorrect, which means I have no tail reverse light because I don't have the lower reverse lights that would be part of the bumper. So someone did like started an RS conversion, but didn't do it right. So let's go ahead and see how much we can screw this up. The grill that's currently on the car, I believe to be an aftermarket as well, because I was kind of reading some articles about replacing the front grills and stuff, and they were saying that you need to get a hardware kit because the original stuff is kind of like pop riveted in there and not screwed in. Those all have nuts and bolts on there. So I have a feeling that's been replaced at some point. So for those of you wondering what the price is, a lot of this stuff is coming from OER, which is an OEM replacement company. Pretty good pricing, I guess. This was about $240 for the whole assembly, all 5 pieces, and I don't think that's terrible. You'll notice I don't have an emblem on it. Remember how I said I didn't know if this was originally a V6 car or what, and I didn't want to put an SS emblem on a non-SS car? Found out this car was originally an SS. We looked up the VIN number. It was originally a V8 car built out of Van Nuys in 1967. It was the 41,000 and some change car built that year because they built over 220,000 1967 Camaros. Not, I think, very rare. Even 53 years later, you can still find plenty of 67 Camaros for sale for that very reason. Because when I ordered this, I didn't know what the car was yet. So that means I will order the SS logo for the front. I now feel comfortable that I'm not wearing SS tribute badges. No, it's a real SS. And yes, I am a little bit of a snob. Just like on the Z. If you buy a Nismo bumper and throw it on your car, it's not a Nismo. Don't put a Nismo bumper on a non-Nismo car. I'm sorry, there's people that are like, oh, Jay, that's just elitist. I would probably change that word a little bit more to a purist. And I'm the kind of guy that's like, badge the car for what it is. You guys can do whatever you want, but my personal opinion, I wouldn't put a ZL1 badge on a new car that I put ZL1 bumpers on either. Agreed,
because my Golf came with GTI badges and it's a Golf Sport, so I ripped that right off and it's not rocking any badges right now.
And I know that's probably gonna trigger people, but that's my own personal opinion.
Well, it's just like, it's you're posing. Don't pose, don't be a poser.
So this is a ZL1 front bumper. It's a ZL1 1LE, it's a real car.
No, not thing.
It's a North Korea car. It's just a silhouette.
It's a cardboard cutout.
Yeah. But there's a lot of people in the car community that I belong to that put ZL1 front bumpers on their SSs because it's got more openings for air cooling and stuff, so it's functional. But instead of putting the ZL1 badge on here, they make one that says LT1, which is in my opinion okay because you're not saying it's a ZL1, but it is an LT1 car, so putting an LT1 badge on there makes sense. So you can already see just how much better this looks, and this is all painted and old. All right, that's gonna be prettier.
Oh yeah.
I was debating painting this all black. I think the chrome trim on the front will be okay. I just don't like the chrome everywhere else I've talked about. I took the car to Mike at Red Barn Racing, specifically for him to tune the carburetor. It was so rich. It was actually pissing fuel out the tailpipe. It was running so rich. Now that he tuned it, man, it runs so good. We advanced the timing because it had no timing in it whatsoever. We don't know what the mixture is because there's no O2 sensor holes in this car. He just did it by feel and smell, old school ways.
That's what she said.
And anyway, will I be able to even get this out? Yeah, okay.
Yes. Oh!
Don't want to lose because it'll find its way in my tire. I'm not keeping these wheels and tires anyway, but I'd like to be able to sell them as takeoffs to some other muscle head that likes these torque thrusts.
Musclehead.
Which are like the most iconic muscle car wheel, but I hate them because of that. Like I want something unique that fits my build, not just everyone goes with torque thrust 2s.
Literally the TEs of the
Actually, I think these might be torque thrust D instead of 2. There's like it's like the TE.
I'll show you a torque thrust D.
Because there are like 7 different torque thrust styles.
Yeah, just like the T37. Yeah. So for the font nerds out there, I can't unsee it now, but the V has too much space in between it and the rest of the letters.
Did you know that they've always emphasized the V in their logos though?
Also, it's on purpose. Whoa.
If you look at I'm serious, it's on purpose. And I learned this at the Peterson Automotive Museum. Back in the 50s, 40s, whatever, when Chevrolet...
John, shut up!
When Chevrolet was like conceived and being made and all that, French brands and stuff were like really a thing then, like the French cars or whatnot. And they was just like, we want to make it sound like, you know, Chevrolet, like to be like super,
like how Haagen-Dazs is. Just
yeah. So they wanted to make it more like, but the problem was they spelled it Chevrolet. So everyone was like, what's Chevrolet? And they were like, no. So that's why there's the little squiggle under the V on the old logos. Is it emphasizes the Chevrolet, and it was just like. Over time, at Peterson, you can see all the logos in a line, right? And how they evolved over time, and eventually they dropped it. So they still make homage to the V in like a lot of the Chevy performance stuff, and that's why it's like Chevrolet. Like it's, I was kind of like, okay, that makes sense, but I'm sorry, putting a little squiggle line under the V doesn't make me go, oh, it's Chevrolet.
Hurry up, I'm bored.
Any mechanics following me, you know the pain of not having the one size wrench that you need. So you resort to using this. As you can see, there's no room to get a socket in there because of the depth from the head to the actual nose piece. But what I'm noticing is I can get them started with this crescent wrench and then they screw out by hand. Get my camera out of the way. All right, so I got all those top bolts out. Now I'm working on these bottom ones, which are a lot easier because they're only right here where the opening for the vents are. You guys might notice, I have to cut that zip tie. I took the front bumper off. I just love how clean it is. This car predates 5-mile-an-hour bumpers. So it's just a big piece of steel that's not designed to crumple or anything. And I'll tell you right now, it would actually do less damage to the car if I got into a low-speed crash in the front end without this bumper connected to the subframe and just let it kind of damage everything in the front, because this stuff is all, you know, can be repaired and rebolted onto the car. But subframe damage, obviously, is a much bigger issue and can affect the body of the car. So I made my own crumple zone. And I know a lot of you are probably like, no, don't do that, but yeah, I'm doing that. This was pushed down at some point. And it's not even level. Like the whole thing needs to be replaced. I don't know why I'm bothering.
So this whole area right here.
Something hit here. Looks like they even tried to cover it up with there. Something hit here and it went, when it went down, it went like that. So I'm trying to get it back up. The other thing I could do, get a block of wood in my jack. Put a block of wood there, jack, and just slowly jack it up and it will go back. All right, so this might make some actual body shop people cringe, but this is how we're gonna do it. I gotta push this up a little bit, just a little bit. And we did actually end up getting new headlights while we were out getting this stuff. Like I already showed, when we tried to put the trim in there, this one's bent down, obviously. The whole piece, ding up the new one. The whole piece is bent down like that, right? So we showed the new one won't fit in there because it's hitting the body right there. We already know it's creased there downward because that's why it's separated. So I'm literally just gonna use this piece of softwood, get it up under there, and we're gonna use the jack, lifting the car. So it's like that, and I can actually see it kind of like that now. Sweet. You guys really want to cringe? But that paint job was mint. No, it's not. Yay!
You can do headlights.
It's better than it was. So lunch just got here, we're gonna go eat, but one of the things I'm gonna do before we start putting it on, as you can see, I've got it in there now, and I didn't have to bend the trim ring to get it in there. I just had to crack some Bondo, crack some paint, bend some pieces. it's all ugly all around. So I'm gonna end up doing like a little bit of black spray around it before I put it back together. But first, we gotta go eat. And then I think I'm gonna take my model paint and a brush and touch up inside there. Yeah, see, once I get it. All right, so I'm coming to the realization that this is not the way this needs to go. Like, I bought a new grill, new trim, new light covers. This side of the car is clearly wrong, and the new grill won't line up because of it. But this grill was reformed with the damage because it was on when the damage happened. And so when I put the new stuff on, like here's the new one right here. Here's an example. This is where that dent is. Look how far off this is. See, this and this big dent right here are really, really obvious. And then it doesn't line up good because this needs to be squished with it. And this metal is really, really soft. It's like meant to be formed, I guess. But I cannot, for the life of me, get the new grill to line up. So, and look at this. This right here, you see this point? That's because the self-tappers they used here, like were too long and pushed up into it.
All the way
over
across.
Here too.
All the way across. Every single one.
So I'm at this crossroads. Do I keep screwing with the new one, trying to make it fit, and then have to replace it anyway when I eventually do the auto body? Or should I... That hole didn't even get stamped out. It got like half stamped out.
Is this the new one?
Yeah.
Jeez.
You know what? Screw it. This is a project car. Let's make it freaking work.
So Jay had the idea of attaching all the...
Attaching the whole thing to
the grill.
As an assembly, so it could kind of pull itself to a shape. And what I'm seeing has to happen, it goes in there, the ends have to go out like that, because they're not reaching the bottom and the top together, right? But we know...
Pretty far.
Yeah, but watch this. Right? Can bend down in both directions. Look at that. See? See how it's like I can barely get in there now? See the difference?
Oh, wow.
And then once it's pulled in the bottom, it'll pull it in and fill the gaps.
All right, Jay's at the self-tapping screw point.
So that one is in. Well, as with so many things, you start screwing with something and then you realize just how far off it is everywhere else. And so this light is not in here correctly. And so because what I noticed is like that headlight, as you can see, is horizontal. Like if you look at the actual reflector in it, this one was like that. So I was like, wait a minute. And they only fit one way because of the tabs. And I was like, something's not right with that. And then we realized this whole headlight housing is just tweaked in there. Ow! Whoa. Got it though.
Got it!
So we got it better. What's happening here is this spring down here, which holds the bottom part of the housing, is really yanking it hard. I stretched the spring out, but I have a feeling I'm gonna end up ordering a whole new light mounting mechanism. Not to mention, I kind of want to go HIDs in the front anyway. They make an HID conversion for the H6024 housing, so it replaces the whole thing, and like I hide the ballast in there and stuff. But it's better than it was though. It's more flat, still not as perfect as that one. That one looks perfect.
All right, so we got most of the stuff mounted up. The headlights are all working, tightened up some grounds to get the passenger headlight high beam to work.
There we go. Getting the light to stop pointing like all the way out there, which is what it was pointing at. Nope, doesn't line back up. I hate this car! So it's way harder than it should have been. It's not perfect. I don't think anything's gonna ever be perfect on this car unless I pay someone to do that. And I'm not doing that right now. But it looks way better than it did. If you kind of do like a before and an after of what it looked like when it was all broken with the broken grill and the way it looks now, it's definitely an improvement. We got 2 packages in though for parts that I ordered on this, and I don't remember what it is, so I think we should look at that real quick before we end this video. Yep. Because this one is all bent up and beat up. So this is a new fuel neck. And then I think, you just smell the fuel when I do that. This one might actually. There. Go this way. I ordered a new cap too, because this one's not turning like it's supposed to. The cap's not here yet though. There we go. Good.
Oh, and it lines itself up?
It's funny how it's like, it's not.
The what?
Well, the neck is not square,
Oh.
right? Like it goes down at an angle. Oh yeah, I can see it. It goes that way.
Oh, I thought it was wrong for a second.
So there's actually nothing wrong with my gas cap. Look, it's turning again.
So it was really just the mount.
Yeah. Which I thought it might have been when I looked at it and saw how it was all beat up. Now this should be a pretty simple job. 4 screws, take off the cover and a little rubber dealy bob. And we'll be doing a video about that soon. All right. That's where we're gonna end this one. It's painful. I know, it sucked to watch. And hopefully you guys are finding this stuff entertaining, because I'm going through quite a plethora of emotions when I do this crap.
Yeah, you're like, I don't even know what stage of grief you're at, like 9.
Do you guys want to see a video about me putting a new fuel neck on? Comment below.